I've been freelancing as an illustrator for 8 years. One day, a client sent me a cozy photo with his girlfriend. I heard you're great at drawing people. Could you sketch a picture of me and my girlfriend? And maybe add a Christmas tree next to us? Christmas Day is our 3rd anniversary. I want to gift her this. I opened the picture, and the woman in it had a smile stretched from ear to ear, looked unusually happy. If it wasn't for this photo, I'd never have guessed. Gloria, who's always so calm and composed around me, had this radiant side to her. I replied with a blank expression with a got it and worked overnight. Once I finished the piece, I made a post using my account with 1 million followers. 5 years into our relationship and my girlfriend finds a new spring. Wishing you both happiness. When some followers asked in the comments, I kindly explained, if your girlfriend cheats, you gotta forgive her, right? People make mistakes. She'll love me more later on, I'm sure. Overnight, my post blew up, trending hard. By Christmas, my ex was viral. But she had no idea. Before the holiday, she called me. Our office doesn't close for Christmas. I need to set an example, won't be coming back. You should sleep early. What about Christmas Eve? You're not coming back for that either? Gloria cheerfully proposed. Missing me? I'll head home early after the holidays. Okay? I just muttered, and hung up. The room went silent, sinking into dead stillness. The tablet on my desk was still lit. In the screen, a man had his arm around Gloria's waist, grinning wide at the camera. To help me capture the expressions better, the client sent several photos. In each one, Gloria was laughing, head thrown back, eyes shut tight. I've known Gloria since high school. Back then, she was aloof, not chatty, not smiley. Even in the 5 years we dated, she always had that cool, composed demeanor, like an untouchable flower. But the Gloria in these photos was someone I'd never met. I chased her for years, thinking her aloofness was from her prestigious family, that it was just her nature. Turns out, it was just waiting for someone to light that fire in her. Staring blankly at the ceiling for a while, my sigh was swallowed up by the cold air, leaving no echo. Next up, I started a live stream, keeping myself accountable for work. Bit by bit, I sketched Gloria and the guy from the photos. Working non-stop day and night, I lost track of time until my buddy barged in, pulling me out the door. Hey you, it's the holiday season, why aren't you out there enjoying it? Stay in too long and you'll mold. Stunned, I asked, today's Christmas? He blinked at me. Yep, why else would I have time to come check on you? Forgot how to read a calendar or what? Closing my laptop, I changed and stepped out. It wasn't even night, but all the little shops were already decked out in lights for the holiday mood. The lights blurred, almost blinding. The sweet smell of cake mixed with different perfumes filled the air. My buddy scratched his head. Where's your ice queen of a girlfriend? Haven't seen her in ages. She's holed up at work even now, right? I paused, gripping my jacket, shaking my head, too drained to talk. Suddenly, my friend nudged me, pointing somewhere. Hey, look there. Doesn't that look like Gloria? I glanced over, freezing mid-step. At the river railing stood a couple. The woman wore a mini skirt and tights, looking chic and sexy. The man, in a coat, giving off mature vibes. People bustled around. Everyone seemed festive. But my face probably reflected nothing but gloom. The cold winter wind stung, almost tearing up my eyes. My friend clasped my arm, about to say something, but seeing my face, fell silent. With trembling hands, I pulled out my phone, opened the pinned conversation, and dialed. In my view, Gloria glanced down at her phone, smile vanishing, brows furrowing deeply. She declined the call. Not giving up, I called again. After several tries, she finally caved. When she answered, there was a trace of anger. Didn't I say I'm at work? Why keep calling? What's so urgent? I paused a second, then only said, turn around. She went silent, body immediately stiffening. Crowds pressed on the streets, shadows overlapping under chaotic lights, pop music playing above. Seconds felt like an eternity. Gloria hastily whispered, someone's calling me, and hung up. The cold disconnect tone seemed to sink my heart further. My post from last night was gaining traction. People who recognized us started tracking me down online. Curious and astonished, they danced around one question. Did Gloria really cheat? Their questions overlapped with my friends. Gloria really cheated? Didn't she come across as frigid before? How could she even cheat? I almost laughed bitterly. So that was her true self? My buddy, visibly angered, turned back to me with reddening eyes, suddenly teary upon seeing my worn-out look. He hugged me tight, gently patting my back. Leo, you're the one who deserves better. Gloria's not good enough for you. Numbly sitting in my chair, suddenly engulfed in his hug, felt like finding warmth after freezing alone on a winter's night. Only then did tears finally fall. Gloria and I go way back to high school where we were desk mates. She was this perfect student, a classy rich man's daughter, beautiful and refined. I was just this average guy from an average family. But because I sat next to Gloria, the school's untouchable beauty, many tried to approach me. They'd hand me all sorts of love letters and snacks, asking me to pass them to her. Gloria always remained distant, introverted, rejecting everyone's kindness. The only person she spared any face for was my desk mate, sometimes passing things along until they made it to her. She tossed the love letters and saved the snacks for me, just like plants can't refuse the sun. Back then, my insecure, sensitive self couldn't refuse someone as dazzling as Gloria. People used to tease, saying I was Gloria's little husband, raised on snacks. The jokes made me so tense I couldn't move a muscle. Gloria gave me a side eye, then glared at them, saying coldly, "Don't you know what respect is? Jokes are only jokes if they make people laugh." They went red with shame and shut up. I relaxed but felt a bit empty. At the graduation party, I finally had the guts to confess and bought roses. Wanted to do it somewhere private, but the roses got delivered to the room, with the delivery guy shouting my name. Everyone was watching as I awkwardly took the flowers and handed them to Gloria. I was so nervous I got dizzy, and my words were a mess. I still remember even Gloria seemed rattled. She turned pale and was silent for a long time before saying, "I'm sorry." Not willing to give up, I followed her to the college she went to, asking her out, chatting online. After a year of persistence, I finally won over this high-maintenance girl. When we got together, Gloria still didn't smile. She just formally said, "I agree to your pursuit. We're a couple now." I was so happy. My hands shook and my heart raced. I had finally caught the light I'd been chasing. Back then, I didn't think about whether Gloria liked me as much as I liked her. I was simply focused on the thought that as long as she liked me someday, that would be enough. I wanted to make sure she'd regret it. Leo, you say she's your light, but did you ever look back and see yourself? You're good-looking, brave, passionate, emotionally intelligent, and caring. You're a light too. The post's exposure kept climbing, with tens of thousands of comments overnight. Most were calling me a jerk, upset at my behavior. A few familiar followers defended me, saying, "Leo graduated from the Capital University Arts College. Think he's uneducated? He's excellent or he wouldn't have 3 million followers." Calm down, folks. Those words are just going abstract, right? Some random folks chimed in, "Isn't this the company chairperson's son? Don't you guys recognize Gloria?" The discussion blew up and more people around me found out. With so many involved, it didn't take long for someone to spill the beans about the guy's identity. Turned out it was Sam, who studied abroad, knew Gloria's family closely. They even had an arranged engagement as kids. To spare my feelings, someone added, "Don't overthink it. Sam might be playing it solo. He and Gloria are super familiar. Doesn't mean she likes him. But they warned you thought about how Gloria's family might retaliate if they found out you posted her picture? You're still so impulsive, not thinking about consequences. For the traditional and prestigious white family, my stunt was like a slap in the face. Luckily, even though the post was popular, nobody dared to blab this in front of Gloria. She had no idea about any of it. That night, she came back home, covered in a chill. She pushed the door open. I was sitting on the couch, a packed suitcase beside me. Gloria took off her coat, glanced at the suitcase, and frowned. Going somewhere? An exhibit or a trip? I sat hugging my knees, looking at her without moving. Gloria walked straight to me, made eye contact, and after a bit, pulled a gift box out of her pocket, tossing it to me. Christmas gift. She watched me, searching for signs of joy. Usually, whatever she gave me made me so happy I'd jump out of my skin. But this time, I showed no emotion. I tossed the unopened gift into the trash. Gloria's face turned cold. She spoke through gritted teeth. "Leo, pick it up. Who taught you to be so rude?" I stood smiling. My family manners aren't as good as yours, apparently. After all, they didn't teach me to be a cheater. My words left her stunned and pale, like she'd been slapped in the face. I grabbed the suitcase and said, "Answering your earlier question, I'm not going on a trip or to an exhibit. I'm breaking up with you. Gloria, we're done." I thought it'd be hard to say it after all these years of loving her, but surprisingly, saying it felt liberating. When we brushed past each other, Gloria stopped me, her voice trembling. "Think carefully. Once we break up, I won't see you again." It hurt like being stabbed, but not because of her, because I'd been blind for so many years. Gloria knew everything. She knew my love was the biggest wild card. I liked her, so she took advantage. I stayed silent, and she thought I hesitated, so she softened her tone. "Be reasonable. Regardless, I'll marry you." I shook her hand off. "I don't need that. As for after the breakup, you don't have to worry. I have no interest in seeing you again." As I left through the door, Gloria called out with a hoarse voice, "Sam was introduced by my parents. Not my choice." Her words surprised me, then I laughed. "That's why we're breaking up. Your family's way out of line. Besides, Gloria, didn't you notice? Your parents have always hated me. They'd love to see me gone." Ever since Gloria's name popped up in that hot post, insiders have been spilling secrets nonstop. A classmate of ours even showed up in the comments, sharing stories with our graduation photo attached. Back in the day, it was no secret Leo had a thing for Gloria. He even declared his feelings for her at the graduation party in front of everyone. Gloria turned him down back then, but I always felt something was off about her. She was usually cold and distant, so maybe she didn't even realize she caught feelings. It's kind of cute to think about. But why did things end up like this now? Maybe you don't know about Gloria's background. Not just anyone can match up to her. Just because a woman has a good family background doesn't mean she can do whatever she wants. It doesn't change the fact she's kind of a jerk, right? Wait, are we getting sidetracked? Wasn't this thread supposed to bash Leo? What's with all the shipping? As I was reading the comments, a bunch of notifications popped up. Turns out it was a group chat set up by my high school classmates. A bunch of them were bubbling up with gossip. "Did you hear? Leo and Gloria broke up. It was pretty messy. Not surprised. Leo never quite matched up to Gloria. She's loaded. The money she drops without thinking would set him up for life. Shows that love without equal standing doesn't really end well. Love? Please, it was Leo chasing after Gloria relentlessly. Otherwise, he wouldn't have stood a chance. Gloria herself said she only gave in because she felt sorry for him working so hard. Did she really say that? Leo was a bit much, sticking around despite everything. Message after message kept coming, and I held my phone, a bit lost. Scrolling through the chat info, I realized it was a group from back when I had a crush on Gloria and secretly joined in with my side account. The people in there were close to Gloria, and they didn't even know I was lurking. More messages kept rolling in, jokes, agreement, no holds barred. Staring at all those comments, I felt worn out. Those 5 years with Gloria were exhausting. How long can one-sided love last? It took time before I realized the answer. And with Gloria coming from such wealth, her folks didn't think much of me. The first time I met Gloria's mom was unexpected. On vacation, Gloria got sick, probably from the strain or maybe her weaker immune system. After the break, she ended up in the hospital. I met Gloria's mom there. She was wearing a neat blazer and pants with a jade bracelet. No extra accessories, but she had a powerful vibe. Gloria introduced us briefly. Knowing she was Gloria's mom made me nervous. She quickly called me aside, asking bluntly how long we'd been together. 3 years, I said. You're not a match, she replied, shattering my fantasies. While I struggled to respond, Gloria's mom continued, do you know why? You two belong to different worlds. I know my daughter. She's just too soft-hearted. Her words heated my face with embarrassment, prompting me to argue. I have my own life and career. Good, she said. Leo, I hope you understand. It's best to stay in your own worlds. Forced together, happiness just isn't in the cards. Her smile seemed frozen, and her eyes cold. Like today, without you, she wouldn't be in the hospital from unhealthy food. She's usually self-disciplined, and I dislike disruptions. Her words cut deep. A phone call interrupted her, and after hurried replies, she turned back to me, sighing. Leo, I won't interfere, but if Gloria truly cared, I wouldn't need to be the bad guy here. She walked away, her heels echoing behind her. Staring at the ground for a long time, I realized no one thought Gloria and I were a good match. She was something special while I was just average. Even after becoming a notable art blogger through hard work, I still felt unworthy next to her. Back in the hospital room, I think I looked troubled. Gloria noticed despite being sick herself. She tried to get out of bed, wanting to find a doctor for me, worried I was sick from the same food. I calmed her down, forcing a smile and letting her check my forehead to reassure her. Only then did Gloria relax, returning to bed. I took the chance to ask casually, Gloria, do you think we'll break up? She paused, puzzled. Why talk about breaking up? I shook my head. It's nothing. She didn't press me, but after that, she kept me in her sight. A nurse joked that Gloria seemed cold but was pretty clingy. I looked at her, surprised, but she pretended not to hear, her ears turning red. The joy I felt was like finding a bloom in the desert. Maybe Gloria did love me, just needing time. But now, looking back, her mom was right. There's no point wasting time on someone you're not suited for. Every second wasted feels cruel in hindsight. Suddenly realizing my phone was still on, I saw missed calls, Gloria's calls. Everything that needed saying was said. I blocked her number in silence. I turned off my phone and boarded a flight home. It was time to end this one-sided chapter. I never imagined that those few hours on the plane would skyrocket my popularity to its peak. When a post goes viral enough, the main character's details become an open secret. Sam and Gloria, whose photos were all over the place, were especially affected. Gloria didn't react much, but Sam couldn't sit still. He went live to explain how he and Gloria met through family introductions, dating with marriage in mind as a way to unite their families. He's got a high-status background and top-tier education, so there's no reason and no way he'd compete with me for a woman. There must have been some misunderstanding. He even asked people not to pressure or cyberbully me. Sure, I've got plenty of admirers, and Leo's insecurity is understandable. I just wished the drama targeting me would cool down. But after Sam spoke, my unprompted outing of their private lives seemed small-minded. Many piled on, mocking my sensitive skin. I could handle that. But soon after Sam's stream ended, he released his artwork from his study time in France. They had similar elements to pieces on my page, and even the brushwork was remarkably alike. It was like oil hitting boiling water. Critics found a reason to bash me. They flooded into my page dissecting my work. Under Sam's leading, the topic Leo's plagiarism shot up to trending topics. By the time I got off the plane, the uproar was overwhelmingly in Sam's favor. Opening the girlfriend of 5 years finds new love post, the comments were mostly people lined up to bash me. Seriously, anyone with 3 million followers can be a blogger now? I wanted to ask those 3 million people. Do you even know what kind of person you're following? Initially, I thought skill and character were separate, but now it looks like you don't even have the basic integrity of an original artist. So much for skill. It didn't stop there. My old stream recordings were dug up and scrutinized. I've mentioned I don't judge by looks, but from the first glance, I was uncomfortable. I feel the same way. Finally, I've said for so long that it feels like everyone's catching on to someone I've disliked for ages. With all this drama online, I was back home. A random number texted me a few times. We broke up. Don't come to me now with your issues. Then 5 minutes later, Leo, delete your post, and maybe I can help. glanced at it, and blocked the number. I collected phones at home, smiling, telling them not to worry. I was just clearing app cache. After securing my family's peace, I found a quiet room, started my own live stream. The title, Response to Plagiarism Accusations. As soon as it went live, thousands rushed in. Times have changed. People wear their anger on their sleeves, launching personal attacks the second they entered. I didn't care. I quietly watched the viewer count rise until it hit over 100,000. Then I calmly began. Hello, I'm Leo, here to address the allegations against me. But I have one condition. Sam, the accuser, needs to come face me. People deserve to see whose words hold up. That sparked even more chaos. Enthusiastic viewers found Sam's profiles, bombarding him with messages to confront me. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, Sam showed up 30 minutes later. I looked at his face, remembering the photos with him and Gloria so close. I knew about Sam long before. Gloria's mom always had doubts about me, so I wasn't surprised she found a match for Gloria. I just didn't expect Sam to be the guy. Of all people, Sam. We met in college through a contest. He had a history. He blatantly copied my idea, leveraging his uncle who judged the contest. I made futile appeals, but it wasn't worth the hassle, so I let it go. After, though, he approached to rub it in, saying, "So what if your stuff looks good?" In this field, relying just on talent won't make a living. I have resources and connections you can't dream of. Good thing you didn't make it a bigger scene. Actors pretending to be this grand artist all bow and scrape eventually. Be too cocky and there's no happy ending. At the time, I wrote him off as crazy. I ignored him, yet he still needed to prove a point. During a group project, we exchanged contacts. He persistently compared himself and me. I'd post a drawing, he'd comment smugly. Average composition, poor color use, zero talent. Friends called him out. Leo's won national awards, who's barking now? Sam quipped back, saying maybe hard work beats talent, implying guys like me only succeed by toiling hard. By then, Sam had moved abroad, and I'd become an art blogger. Our paths didn't cross until he flaunted his and Gloria's pictures in my face. Initially, it was shock and disbelief. To check if it was true, I borrowed Gloria's phone, even followed her, looking around her office. From flaunting to tagging behind Gloria as her assistant, Sam gradually changed. Unlike me, he's charismatic, lively. Gloria falling for him didn't shock me. They were a perfect match. I hid one day and watched the noon sun beam through her office, Gloria glowing while Sam playfully interacted with her. A look she'd never given me despite our years together. The facade of bliss cracked, forcing me to face the truth. Gloria cheated. Worse, with Sam, whom I detested most. Years of love turned to emptiness. I buried myself in work, drawing, cutting ties with Gloria, finally ending our 5-year history. Until the plagiarism scandal popped up, I hadn't seen Sam again. In the live stream, the crowd's excitement kept growing louder, thanks to the massive traffic. Gift effects kept coming in. Sam raised an eyebrow at me. "I'm here. You wanted a showdown? Can you prove you didn't plagiarize my work?" He looked so cocky, with so many people backing him up, he seemed pretty confident. His attitude towards me, full of provocation and disdain, wasn't even masked. I admitted to the plagiarism. With a calm voice, I dropped a bombshell, delivering my statement amidst his shocked expression. Sam laughed, probably thinking I had just given up the fight. "So you're admitting it? I thought you invited me here just to apologize," he started. But I interrupted, however, the one who plagiarized was you. If you believe our works are similar, why assume it's me copying you, not you copying me? I asked, staring at him intently. Sam stayed cool. "Isn't it obvious? My works were published before yours. Just admit it. There's no point in struggling." The audience in the comments chimed in, "Are we fools? We're not buying it. Okay? According to you, this was supposed to be a confrontation. So go on, defend yourself," they taunted. I asked, "So, are you saying every one of these paintings is your original work without borrowing from others?" I didn't pay attention to the chaos in the comments and focused on Sam for confirmation. Impatiently, Sam replied, "How many times do I have to say it? These are all my original works from my time in France. I don't need to sell courses like you. I ignored his words and smirked. As long as you're sure these are original, that's all that matters. As the broadcast went on, the drama's heat grew, with many waiting for my downfall. The live stream audience numbers kept climbing. Then, a new icon appeared in the room. It was Gloria, an artist I had connected with who was far away in another country. After some rustling sounds over the camera, a woman's face appeared on the screen. Her complexion was pale, and her gaze was sharp. She wasted no time and showed her work. Her assistant translated, "The creative copyright for this art is mine. Leo, my friend, asked to borrow ideas from my paintings, blending Western and Eastern elements, which led to those showcased works. If this gentleman accuses Leo of plagiarism, in effect, he accuses me," she said. "We've consulted experts and will be in China soon. See you in court." Her straightforward words hit like a lightning bolt, and Sam's face turned red, then pale. The drama hit its peak, with comments rolling in even faster. I know that artist Gloria, a famous Italian painter. I knew those paintings looked familiar. An art student chiming in, "Gloria was one of my favorites back in the day." I'm laughing like crazy. For those who don't understand Italian, Gloria basically said, "Who's the nutcase? Let's settle this in court." Some praised Gloria's bluntness, no manners, but I love it. As Sam tried to defend himself, I continued, "My fans know I document my work process. Those curious about the truth can check my past stream recordings. I guarantee every piece was handled seriously, with no plagiarism involved." Without saying a word, Sam logged off while I was speaking. Comments shifted, asking about my love life, but I ignored them and ended the stream. Sometimes, staying mysterious fuels curiosity among the crowd. After I logged off, Sam deactivated his media account. The headlines about the wealthy heiress's scandal stayed trending for days, bringing down the white stock. I never expected Gloria to reach out during this chaos. With all the buzz online, I tried to stay home more. During a grocery errand my mom sent me on, I spotted Gloria's car downstairs. A driver stepped out and invited me into the car. "Mr. Leo, the Whites would like to talk with you." I gave a fake smile. I'm not about to get into a car and be carted off. She can come talk to me if she's serious. The driver frowned, about to retort, but the car door opened, and Gloria emerged. The driver warned, "This could get you noticed." "Ma'am, you were told." But Gloria dismissed him. "It's fine. I know what I'm doing." Gloria looked a bit worn, her beauty overshadowed by fatigue. Seeing me, she got straight to the point. This was intentional. Feigning ignorance, I said, "What are you talking about?" Gloria gave a complex smile. "The post and Sam's whole ordeal, that's all you're doing, right? In that post, the plagiarism angle was your creation, meant to put Sam in the spotlight. Am I wrong?" I stayed silent. Gloria sighed, "You don't have to be on guard. I won't harm you. I just didn't realize you hated me that much. You're clever with the traffic manipulation," she noted, "but Leo, remember, power can both lift and sink. Aren't you worried my mother will retaliate? You didn't just tarnish my reputation but jeopardized the Whites' future." I kept my cool. The developments of the Whites aren't my concern or problem. "If you're just here to threaten me, I'm not fazed. You can leave." Gloria observed me, then softened, speaking tenderly, "Leo, you may not believe this, but I've missed you these days." I looked up sharply, skeptical. Gloria, never one for sweet talk or vulnerability, flushed under my gaze. She continued, "I know it's odd saying this now. You might not trust me, but I've thought about us a lot these past few days. When you said you wanted to break up with me, I got really scared. When you didn't pick up my calls, I was terrified. I didn't understand why at first, but now I get it. Maybe it's because I like you too, but I didn't realize it myself. I know I've wronged you. I can explain. I met Sam because my mom introduced us. Being with him was just to give it a try. Now I've figured out that it's you I really like. There won't be any more ties with him." She pledged her loyalty, sounding so resolute she nearly swore. "I've already cut him out. Since you don't like him, I won't meet him again. In the future, anything you don't like, I'll change." She looked at me with bright eyes, like a shy girl confessing her feelings. awkwardly waiting for her crush's response. Gloria has indeed changed a lot. When she talks to me now, she's not as distracted, and the look in her eyes isn't as blank or indifferent as before. After 5 years by her side, I finally got her confession, but only after we broke up. I laughed until it hurt inside. This whole thing is absurd. Life really loves to play jokes. All those feelings I longed for and couldn't get are now just laid out in front of me, leaving me confused and resentful. Gloria probably thought she was being sincere enough. She must believe getting back together is a given. She looked at me with concern, reaching out to hug me, but I slapped her hand away in disgust. "You say you like me?" Gloria nodded. I gave a wicked smile, one that didn't reach my eyes. "Well, the thing is, I could almost hate you to death. I never want to see you again. You make me sick." Seeing her pained expression gave me a strange sense of satisfaction, and as I turned to leave, I remembered my 18-year-old self. That boy bravely declared his love with roses, daring to express his feelings under countless eyes. Youth, full of passion that wasn't afraid of being extinguished. But unlike now, I've burned through all that passion. All that's left is exhaustion and emptiness. Gloria, who once said she had boundaries, had none at all, standing outside my place all night. I ignored her. A few days later I checked, and her car was still there. She hadn't left. When we were together, she was always too busy to spend time with me. Now she had all the time in the world, but all I felt was annoyance. The online chatter didn't stop either, with people targeting Gloria and Sam in waves. Sam liked to post on social media, so his photos became memes, and his words turned into jokes, gaining traction. Riding this wave of attention, I gained a few million followers, a real success story there. While people were busy bashing Gloria and Sam, Gloria herself registered a new social media account. She verified her identity and posted a link with the caption, "My bad eyes, mistaking a fisheye for a pearl." Clicking the link took you to a PPT, detailing how Sam plagiarized my ideas during this creative contest we both entered in college, and used his connections to snatch my first prize. The PPT was well done, logical, focused, with visuals and text. No one expected things to unfold like this, and the comments were a string of question marks. Even Sam probably didn't think he'd face a second attack. Gloria tearing Sam apart became the day's gossip, trending on social media. Right then, the paparazzi snapped photos of Gloria outside my building. The internet went wild. Still relentless, Gloria bombarded me with texts trying to make up, like she finally figured out how to fill in those 5 years of missing care. "It's cold, so I couldn't resist buying you a few clothes. Not sure if you'll like them since my taste isn't great. Can't sleep, kinda miss you. Your buddy keeps texting me, cursing me out. Sorry, didn't know how tough it was for you before. My mom gave me a good scolding. I used to listen to her but don't want to anymore. Did she ever scold you?" Tired from all the blocking and deleting, I just stopped using my phone without reason. As things escalated, Gloria's mom contacted me for the first time in a while. For the first time, she came to my house wanting to meet me. When I went down, Gloria was arguing with her mom, trying to stop her from seeing me. "You know you hurt him. Can you please not disturb his life? What happens between him and me is for us to resolve." In the midst of their argument, Gloria's mom slapped her. "You've lost your mind. Who exactly is disrupting his life? How did I raise someone like you?" She didn't finish, fearing she'd break her daughter's heart. Seeing me, she took a deep breath. "Mr. Leo, can we talk? Once we're done, I'll take her away." Fearing paparazzi lurking outside, I brought Gloria's mom into my home. After greeting my parents, I took her to my room to talk. Sitting down, she looked at me, lacking the sharpness she once had. "This time, it's my daughter's fault. Kid, you've endured a lot." I shook my head, never sure what to say to her. Gloria's mom also seemed a bit at a loss. Her status rarely requires her to apologize, making it tough but seemingly sincere. I introduced Sam to my daughter, hoping she'd like him. "Maybe?" She paused, sighed, still feeling ashamed. "Yes, I did want you two apart then, but never imagined things would come to this." Her indecision and non-commitment were her faults, not yours. I held a hot water cup, watching the steam rise. For the first time, I saw Gloria's mom so embarrassed. Once, I talked to Gloria. Her inexperience hindered her understanding of her own feelings. Yet, she was protective, always urging me not to bother you. Back then, I suspected she might like you a little, but she's reserved. How long her fondness would last, who could say? I've witnessed you both together for 5 years, even if initially unwelcomed. Over time, it becomes familiar. I don't know your current situation. If there's still a chance? Auntie, drink your tea. I interrupted, sparing us from the forthcoming words. She paused, smiled, her expression complex. I knew it'd end like this. My daughter was the skeptical one. Skipping over Gloria's defense, the conversation later went smoothly. I was listening to Gloria's mom talk to me about the past with Gloria's dad. She was a rich girl, arranged by her father to marry Gloria's dad, who started his business from scratch. It wasn't until after she got married that she found out he already had a wife. By then, it was too late for regrets. Because of this experience, she hated mismatched relationships. Naturally, she wasn't fond of me at first either. We chatted until the sky got darker. Gloria's mom brought up the real issue, saying, I might need you to do something about that post. I replied, yeah, of course. It has to be deleted. I'd already achieved my goal, and breaking up with Gloria amicably was enough. No need to make enemies with the whites. She seemed relieved and said, I was really worried you'd be stubborn. As I was leaving, she held my hand and said, Kid, if you ever need help, just ask. I'll help if I can. She touched my hair gently and said, You're still naive. If you'd held on a bit longer, I might have agreed to your marriage. It's my family's misfortune to have someone like Gloria. There's no fate between us. Take care, Mr. Leo, and I sincerely wish you all the best. I stood by the window, watching Gloria's mom pull Gloria into the car with 2 bodyguards. As they were getting in, she looked up hurriedly. She couldn't see anything. I closed the window and turned off the lights. Later, I was bored and checked my phone. No more texts from unknown numbers. The online controversy about me had died down. I saw some messages in a group chat. Truth or dare? Choose between someone you love or someone who loves you. The question felt childish, but it was a holiday, and many former classmates were joining in. I scrolled through the group info and remembered it was a group I joined with a fake account because they were close to Gloria. I also remembered how, on the day the post blew up, they talked badly about me in front of me because of Gloria's attitude. I decided to join the conversation. I used to think someone I love is better. Now, I think maybe the one who loves me is more worthwhile. Some disagreed. Of course you choose someone you like, or else it's boring. No one's worth you wasting 5 years of your life. Realizing I'd been a bit personal, I tossed the phone on the couch and ignored it. Before bed, I checked my phone again. The group chat had over 99 new messages. Looking back, my message led someone to ask, Who are you? Spill the drama and entertain us. When I didn't reply, curiosity led them to check my profile. They quickly concluded, oh no, it's Leo. More messages followed. People calling for Gloria, apology memes, and some even added me to send essays of apology. I didn't respond, just acted like I didn't see it. But it reminded me of school days. It hasn't been long since I left, but it feels like a lifetime ago. A new message popped up. Gloria, passed by a dessert shop today and suddenly missed you. You used to love the cakes here. I wanted to ignore it but couldn't resist replying, go ahead, eat, hope you choke. Blocked and deleted, I logged out. Outside, the night was deep, occasionally touched by moonlight. Thoughts couldn't help but drift. Why do people need to lose something to prove love? Is that really love or just foolishness? Restlessly tossing in bed, I got up to work instead. Ahead lie vast distances, no regrets for what's past, and the future is full of endless possibilities and freedom.